Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. Look at that. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Believe it or not, I am not actually dead. It's crazy. I'm here. Just for reference, I just attempted to do this stream about 15 minutes ago. We made it 10 whole minutes in, and then my entire PC decided to crash. So then I had to restart it, and then I was getting everything set back up, and then my PC crashed again. So then I manually shut off my PC, restarted it, got everything set up. My headset wasn't working. Restarted my headset twice, still wasn't working. Thank you, computer. I then restarted with my headset and my computer again, and here we are. Finally, after all of that, we were able to get it back up and running. And there's ADNX again. So for any of you that were just here in the attempted live stream before this, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go over the exact same information that we just did, because I'm just going to pretend like this is an entirely new stream and that nothing actually happened before. So, yeah, I'm actually live, believe it or not. I know I kind of disappeared off the face of the planet for a little bit, but everything's fine. Just kind of been working hard on the room, or slash the game, the thing that we're actually going to be working on here on the stream. Also, ADNX is just standing right there off to the camera. You're fine, ADNX, you're fine. It was very funny for me to try and keep a straight face while staring at the camera / you. But yeah, so that's mostly just what I've been working on. So that's what we're going to be doing here in the stream, is hopefully being able to get a little bit of progress done on that. I'll kind of give an update on everything that's happened, that we have been working on in the room. And then, yeah, we'll hopefully get some progress done on that. So you may be asking, why in the heck are we in this room? Reason being, no, this is not the game that I'm creating. This is W Rock Climbing. We're simply going to hang out here, have a little bit of fun before we then go ahead and start building. So, kind of what I have started my, trying to dodge the sniper shot here. I have started, kind of making it a habit of that every time that I start or I hop onto Rec Room to start building, I actually come in W Rock Climbing and I give Mount Olympus one attempt. One attempt and one attempt only, and then as soon as I fall, I then jump into building. So I figured that we could go ahead and do that here on this stream, have some fun with it. We'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll get going after that. So, if you want to join for like the 5-10 minutes that we're going to be here in this room, the meetup code is pinned on the live stream chat. You are welcome to go ahead and punch that in, join. Like I said, we're only going to be here for 5-10 minutes, and then I'll be leaving, and then I'll be working on the room by myself there. But if you want to join, you can. That's up to you. It's that one guy. No way. Yeah, it's that one guy. But yeah, that was kind of the rundown of everything that's going to be happening here. Can I give a tour? Yes. So we'll be here, like I said, about 10 minutes, and then I will jump over to the room, and then I'll give a full explanation of what it is that we're building, and then an update of everything that we have worked on, and then as well as everything that is currently being worked on and needs to be fixed before the actual game is released. But that being said, we can go ahead and start just climbing, start having some fun here. So during the last attempts of this, of the live stream, we started climbing Olympus. We made it up to there. I think you all can see my leads. I don't remember if you can or not with the thing. We made it right there where it arcs up around, then goes underneath. We were right there. We made it up a little ways. Took us for like 7 minutes or so, and then we fell and died. So yeah, well, we didn't die. We didn't fall either. My computer crashed. I don't know why I said either of those things. But, so we're going to give this another attempt and hope that my PC does not hate me again. And just kind of cross our fingers for that. I'm going to go ahead and unmute our music here. Oh, look at that. Good lo-fi music. You need lo-fi music when, just completely ignore it. You need some good lo-fi music when streams are as boring as this. And, you know, it's just me sitting here craning my neck, staring up, trying to do a little bit of climbing. Alright. On one hand, I hope I fall early, so then we can go jump over and start building. On the other hand, I really want to beat Mount Olympus. Because like I said, I give this one attempt basically every single day, because I'm working on the room basically every single day. So, I haven't necessarily gotten better, but I have gotten more consistent. I can get up to my furthest record more consistently. He's just floating there like a, just like some sort of magical, all-powerful being. Just like, you dare come up here. I'm waiting for it. You are my sunshine, my only... Sorry. I completely distracted me from what I was going to say. Oh well, obviously wasn't that important. Oh yeah, talking about climbing Olympus, because I have a short that I want to make about climbing Olympus. But in order to actually make that short, I actually have to successfully climb Olympus. So every single time that I climb, once I get up to a certain point, I then start the recording. So then if I actually make it all the way up, I'll have it. Ugh. And there was a time the other day where I hopped on to do my climb before the build, and Drippy was joining me, and I made it up to that point. I started recording. I just smacked my chair. And then we got up a little bit further, and then I fell, and I then realized I wasn't actually recording. I had started OBS, I had gotten all the audio levels set up, but I didn't actually hit start recording. So I would have been kind of pissed if I had actually beaten it on that attempt, because it wouldn't have mattered. Also, Baggy was here during the last attempt of the stream. Now he's gone again. It's just so sad. Excuse me, ADNX. Coming through. But yeah, Speedrunners has been making some really good progress on it. I'm very happy with where things are turning out towards, or how things have been turning out, I should say. Drippy's been working hard on the coding side of it. I've been working hard on the lobby, the visual aspects. So I still don't have a time frame for when it will come out, because I don't want to promise anything, because we promised March 15th. And then we realized we bit off way more than we could chew, and we had a lot more left than what we thought. And so... that doesn't count as a fall because it was it was 10 feet. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'm not going to make any more promises for release dates until we're actually very close to being done, and I feel confident in the fact that we can get it released at least by that date. So I'm not going to give any estimates. We're just kind of working as fast as we can. Not as fast as we can, but we're working hard on it, trying to do it in a timely manner at least. And then hopefully it'll be released here eventually. And we'll be able to have some fun in it. Do some exciting things. Come on. Every single time that I do this, it just absolutely pains my neck. I feel like since I've done this so many times, I would have built up like a really muscular neck. Oh, but it still hurts every single time. This cannot be good for your spine. Holy cow, that was close. ADNX, I almost didn't make it up. That would have been bad. Okay, all right. We have a little root beer break. I disagree. There is no time for breaks. We just climb. Okay. Well, am I making that? No, I'm not making that. All right. That was kind of a pathetic place to fall. Didn't even get to any of the hard throws. Oh well. All right. Well, that was that. There is the climbing. So now let's go build. Thank you, ADNX. Bye, ADNX. All right. Speedrunners, we're going to start here in the city map. We will go through, and I'll give the full explanation of everything. What happened? If you go back to the start of this stream, you'll see that I gave the full explanation of everything. But the brief explanation is a lot of things crashed, and a lot of things had to be restarted. But here we are. So, things are very dark right now. We're currently working on the lighting, so this is one of the things that Drippy has been trying to do, trying to get the right lighting, so we're getting closer. But it needs to be worked on a little bit more, because obviously you can see it's a little bit too dark. So this light up here should still be here. Wonderful. Let me actually configure this to be grabbable so I can just carry it around with me. Grabbable, yes. Is there a way that I can turn it to be... Because if I... Oh no, because then I can't see anymore. So how do I make this visible all the time, and not just when the lights are, or when the, not just when I have my maker pin out. Climbable, room contributor lock. Response settings, hide during games? No, is that, wait. Is there a way to do it? Wait, isn't there a way to make it so that just circuits are always visible? Isn't that a thing? Isn't that a thing? With snap circuits. Not quite what I want. It's somewhere. I know it is. It's not gonna be under snap settings. Is it under here? This room? Details, settings. No, because you can turn it on to show everybody. But I thought there was a way to get it to show, to always have me be able to see it. I do not know. This is why Drippy does these things, and I don't. If anything, what would it be under? Game rules? No, yeah, so this is where you can... No, it's not even where that is. Okay, alright, anyways. Let me just do this then. Does this work? Can I just do this? Let me fly. There we go. Alright. This does not work very well. Alright, screw it. We'll just be dark. Alright, so this is Speedrunners. If you have not seen Speedrunners before, the concept is the game is that you run through the map. Your goal is to be as fast as possible while collecting the coins and items to help you along your way. Your goal is to be the last person surviving by being the fastest person possible. If you then win that round, you get a point. First to 3 points then wins the overall game. And then congratulations, you then go back to the lobby and then you can start another game. That is how the concept of Speedrunners works. So, if we come down here, this is the first starting spot. This is the only spot that is somewhat illuminated that we'll be able to see. But this is the design of the map. It's kind of a metro city kind of feel to it. So we've got the city background here on all of the walls, and then we've got some of the decorations that then pop out into the 3D world as well of what you're running through. Basically, just clamp it to a cube if you can't find it. That is true. Could just do that. We'll be fine. We're not going to be here for all too long. But yeah, basically, you run through. Your goal is to be as fast as possible. Anything that has these white outlines, you can then slide on. I think these are still enabled. Yeah, look at that. We can still collect them. Item boxes are also on, so you can then collect these. You then get the items. That was the freeze ray, one of the items that you could get. Alright. So then you run through the map. These then slow you down, so if you walk on them, you can see them a lot slower. But if we're then staying off of them, we stay nice and fast. Yoink. That coin is supposed to be over there. Noted. Also, this coin is missing. Alright, we thought we had fixed the respawn system, but obviously not quite. So that needs to be fixed. Wonderful. This is the jump boost item. Basically, you can use this in midair to give yourself basically an extra jump in midair. Little tunnel here, slide on down. Yoink. This is where things are going to start getting darker. Another coin to collect there. Yoink. And you keep going, you keep running. So if we were going, or if the game was actually running, we would be running along the same route with everybody else. This is our speed boost. I don't know if I can use this here and not get screwed over. Nope. Should have saved that until here. But yeah, and then the big red wall, his nickname is Brew for Big Red Elimination Wall. He follows you, and then your goal is basically to outrun him. He is what eliminates you if you're too slow. I think I can make this if I do the jump. Let's go. A little bit of a secret shortcut here. Yoink. Double coins are not turned on yet. But yeah, so basically just got the coins here. You've got the item boxes to help you. We've got our speed boost now. A great spot to use that. Yoink. Oh, speed boost. And that coin's supposed to be about 3 feet over to the right or to the left. Yoink. And then we keep running through, This is where we left that dome light. Oh, and let there be light. Holy cow. I don't know if I think there is a good spot I can use this up here. Can use it. Yoink. I don't know if that actually saves time, but... And we come back over here. We've got one final turn, and then you turn, and then you're back at the start. So this is Brew. This is Brew. He's the one that then chases you through the map. Your goal is to outrun him. So right now he's stationary because the game's not actually running, but this is where he would start, and then he chases you as you go throughout the map. Each round that then starts, you spawn in a different location. So this is location 1. We can see by the respawn points there. Location 2 is over here in this part of the map, and then further throughout it, we then get a couple of other locations as well. 2 other, for a total of 4 actually. But yeah, so that's kind of what the map is, what it looks like. This is basically all of the stuff that I have done on it, and the work that I have done is all the visual parts. I've got a few other things that I need to work on, such as, this is not where I want to be. I want to be here. Such as adding stuff in like this. So I've got these big arrows. I'm trying to find an ink efficient way where I can get these, the next one to light up and then that one to de-illuminate. I don't know if that's actually a word. So then have some movement there. I know how to do it. I just don't trying to find a better ink efficient way. Because right now we are at 97.36. So we are very close to full on ink. But yeah, so I've still got a few other things to work on like that. And then I don't know if you saw it, but when we were running through this area, we've got the moon and stars over here, which I'm not in love with. Once we get the lighting figured out and I do the actual custom lighting here, I'll then make the decision of whether or not I want to keep this here or if I'll tear this down and then put some arrows and some other decorations in there. But most of my work here is done. Everything that's left is this. So this is Drippy's mess. This is called the Spaghetti Monster or the Wither Storm, whichever one you prefer. If you're wondering why there are circuit boards that are swinging around in outer space, basically Rec Room Studio screwed up the attached to detached mode, and so these are spinning around with the animation of the coins and the item boxes. So that's why they're spinning. That's why it looks like an absolute spaghetti mess. Things like this keep happening. We don't know why. We can just thank Rec Room for that. I don't know what's actually up there. If we roughly follow these lines, they're coming back in here. I wouldn't be surprised if these are the ones connected to the items. I know they're all going in here, which is the list create, which goes up to here, and this is all part of the coins. Oh no, so that's just all the more coin circuit boards. Oh, you know what? Those are probably the coins that we collected. They're probably getting moved up there. That's my best guess. But on top of that, so for the rest of the items, we've got a few other things. This is just Stunt Runner, but better, more or less. As we saw, we have the freeze rays right there. If you hit somebody with that, it slows them down for a little bit. I have the speed boost, which then gives you a speed boost. We have the jump boost right here. And then the last one that we have made is the item box, or the crate. So if I take this and I click it, it spawns a crate behind me. This system is not set up yet, but basically if somebody then runs into it, it does the same thing as the freeze ray, as slows them down. So if you want to compare it to Mario Kart, it's like the fake item boxes that show up. Although these are just, they're not a fake version of anything. So this is just another obstacle that you can spawn throughout. The last item that we were working on creating, it is incredibly dark. Let me see if I can actually snap our dome light again, just so we can move this over here. Man, the fact that it has no shadows is so disorientating. But this is the other item that we're working on. This is actually tied up to it. We were working on this last night, trying to get this item finishing working, but basically you hold this in your hand, so the trigger handle will be connected to that. You then click this button, it will spawn the bomb directly behind you, just like the crate, and then if you use it again, it then explodes and pushes all players away from it. So we were having a really hard time actually getting it to work. Right now the physics are like opposite of what they should be, where if you stand close to it, it doesn't push you far, versus if you're standing further away, it pushes you more. So we were trying to figure out why the heck that was happening. We didn't have success with it because we wanted to work on some other stuff as well. But this is one of the other items that will be in the game. So this is multi-purpose, or basically if I'm running and then I use it and then immediately blow it up. Actually, let's do this then. So if I do that and then immediately blow it up, I can use it to propel myself forward, or I can spawn it, wait, and then I can use it to then affect the players behind me. So this is multi-purpose. This is one of the items that's in the actual game of Speedrunners. For those that don't know, this is actually based off of, it's basically just it's a copy of the game Speedrunners that you can play on PC. Super fun game. I loved it. That's why I'm recreating it here in Rec Room, and this is just the 3D reimagined version of it. That's a lot of talking. So for terms of what is continuing to be worked on, basically we still have the rest of the items to be working. Obviously the respawn system needs a little bit more work. Brew and where he's spawning compared to where the players are spawning on the different routes needs a little bit of adjustment. The crate system then needs to be actually fixed where it's actually working, where if you touch this it slows you down. But that's mostly it. There's a few other small things, but that is the main core of the game that actually needs to be worked on. So the whole actually game part of it, of you respawn, the elimination, and keeping track of points. That's all done. That's all made. And so I completely lost my train of thought there. But this is kind of what has left to be done. If you're wondering what these names are here, these are the names of the wonderful ladies and gentlemen that have actually donated during some of the building streams that we have done. And so we take these names and we hide them as Easter eggs throughout the map. I've hidden all of them except the art official, right? That's what it is? Artworks official, sorry. And I've hidden all of them except that one as of right now. They're all hidden, and I'm keeping them all as Easter eggs. But there was one, yeah, that's what it was. I was going to say there was one that we built on stream that I have shown a couple of times. I was trying to remember which one that was. Let me through here, please. Yoink. Right there, Lem X3. So this is what those Easter eggs kind of look like. So if you donate at any point, this is how your username will show up inside the map. So that's still running on this stream. So even though we'll be working on the lobby, if you donate, we'll still put your name as an Easter egg inside of this map. So pretty dang neat. Big thank you to all of those people. Do really appreciate it. But that's most of everything for this year. Oh, actually, I suppose I should go very briefly over this. This is the death respawn room. It's very dark in here right now. But this is actually Brew's perspective. So we're going to have it that when you get eliminated, you can stand here and actually watch the current game that's going on from Brew's perspective. So as it's chasing the players, you can actually watch that. This is causing a whole bunch of lag right now. So we're going to redo it, or basically only if you're standing in this little area right here, then the screen actually turns on. So that way not everybody is lagging all of the time. How many items will you make for the boxes? There will be just a total of those 5 items. But in here, this is just the death lobby. This is just kind of a place that you can hang out, look at some stuff, run around a little bit. There's a little bit of a mini course here that you can jump around on, just kind of have fun with it. And then there's a little Easter egg underneath there, which I think I may have shown that in the last stream, but I'm actually not going to show it this stream. You'll just have to wait until the room is actually published. But that is this subroom. Like I said, we're at like 97% ink, so we're basically maxed out. So we're very, we've only got a few things that we can actually continue to add. But we're going to try our best to make it look as good as possible, and we're just hoping that we'll actually be able to get it done in a decent time. So that is this subroom. For the actual, wait, no, not that. Here, settings, subrooms up here. For the lobby itself, that is what I have been working on for the past week or so. Don't save? Yeah, don't save. I did not do anything, and I actually collected items, so we do not want to save. So yeah, lobby is what I've been working a lot on. It took me a really long time to settle on a design that I actually liked, and something that I could actually keep going all the way through the build. But this is the lobby. This is basically the overview of it. You can see it's a lot smaller than the actual map itself. But when you spawn in, you will be spawned in roughly right about here. Off to our left, we've got the how to play board. This just kind of gives you the very brief tutorial of what the heck is actually happening in here. Over here on the right, this will be the actual menu select. So once we have multiple maps, you'll be able to do your map select through here, start the game, and so on and so forth. This is then the lobby itself, just to kind of give you a brief overview of what we're looking at. Like I said, how to play board here. We're then going to have a sign that hangs down that's going to say practice right there. So when you come through here, this is then that little practice area. So if this is your first time and you just want to actually see what the heck actually happens here in the game, you'll be like, what am I actually doing? You can come here, do a couple of laps. This I have not settled on my design, so this is all likely to change. This is just the structure for this part. But this is what this is, and then it's just a short little loop. You come back in here. These are then the items. This is try me, so eventually you'll be able to do just touch it. It'll then give you the item, so then you can take it in here and you can experiment with it to kind of get a little bit more familiar with it. So you can be like, I don't understand the crate system. You could grab this, come in here, spawn the crate, and then you could be like, oh, okay, and then smack into it, and you're like, oh, now I'm slowed down. So it's just kind of a way to help players feel a little bit more comfortable with it, as well as kind of practice some more advanced tech as well. For back here, this is my little promo spot. Drippy's avatar will be right here. It'll probably put a little sign above it that'll say creators. This is me. If you don't recognize that name, how'd you find me? How are you here? We've then got our leaderboard right here. I really wish that there was a way that you could do it where it's like always facing forward, or just a better visual way to do it. It's stupid. Leaderboard V2 isn't out yet, so maybe that'll happen eventually. But that's what this is. Don't mind this. Actually, I don't need this anymore now that we've actually brought over the model over to the other room. And then this is the shop. So we're not going to have any tokens exchanged. There'll be a couple of things that you can buy with tokens, but they will like be tiny little souvenirs, like a tiny little coin or something. It's more so just a way to support the creators and not actually anything that's going to benefit you. That being said, with the in-game currency, there is nothing in there that can benefit you in the actual game itself either. So it'll just be a bunch of cosmetics, a bunch of little consumables and stuff that you can do that is just purely for fun. But that's what this little room is going to be here. So I have no idea how I'm going to lay this out or like make it what I'm going to make it look like. But that is what that's going to be back here. So this is what we're going to be working on here today. I've been streaming for like 45 minutes and I'm just now getting to the part that we're actually going to be working on. But this is what we're going to be doing. This is just another kind of fun entertainment zone to keep players excited and entertained while they're waiting for the match to start. So this is going to be a parkour area, and once again we'll have a sign up there that'll then say parkour, and that is what will be back there. So I have no idea what this is going to look like, how it's going to work, how big we're going to make it, how hard we're going to make it. That is all things that we are going to decide on today. But yeah, this is pretty much the lobby, what it is. Like I mentioned, it took me a really long time to kind of settle on the general design. This is not by any means what the final product is going to look like. There's a lot more things that are going to get recolored and added and removed as we continue going along. But this is the general theme. I'm going for pretty much a heavy on the blue because I'm kind of modeling after Speedrunners as well. Same thing, modeling after Speedrunners, kind of the odd-shaped parallelograms. It has like an actual name to it, I can't remember, but they use a lot of that, so I'm trying to incorporate that same design in here. So that's why we've got this roof design like that. So that's why the shop is like that, and then all of the other names, like the practice, that'll be right there. It'll be the same thing of that weird shape, kind of scrunched together letters, but we're just kind of going for that vibe. So it took me a really long time to settle on that. But now that we've got it, I can actually go through and start working on the decoration. So, but yeah, that is basically everything caught up to what we have accomplished so far. I'm also absolutely in love with the 2D models that I made for these. I'm the only two that are really actually 2D are the bomb and the ones that had changed into 2D was the bomb and the freeze ray. But I really like how they turned out. I especially like the bomb. This is really cool. But then we're reusing them over here as well. So yeah, the top half here is just the general how to play, and then the bottom half is how the items work. So this shows you like increase your speed for a short time, boost yourself upward while in midair, and stuff like that. And all of these texts, you can see this is actually not the rec room text. I actually custom created everything. So I went through and I created all the alphabet here for the hiding the Easter eggs, so the usernames. And then because I did that, I then had the idea of like, hey, I can kind of create that custom aspect to it if I create the text inside the lobby with that same thing. So I was like, this is gonna be a lot of work, but sure. And so worked on it, did it, kind of love it. Not, it's not the best thing ever, but I like it. It allows me to do all of the different colors without taking up as much ink, even though it is still taking up a lot of ink. I know that is what's taking up the most amount of ink right now, but the text itself is so much ink. It is kind of ridiculous, but let's actually start working on some stuff. So first things first, I want to go ahead and, I guess I was going to say I'm going to fix the ceiling pattern here, but if we do end up using it, then I don't want to delete it because it was very particular of how it was snapping and it was messing up on me. So if we do end up using that, I don't want to delete it. But what I'm thinking is that roof will probably start slanting up here, because by no means, or we could just have the parkour go down. Like it could be a giant pit here. And then you could do the parkour like straight across and then down a little bit. Because almost always parkours go up. But the reason that you don't want to go down is so then you could skip. So you wouldn't be able to like encircle it and have it be like a giant circle going down. It'd have to be like straight forward, which would just take up too much space. I don't think that would look as good and wouldn't kind of fit the vibe. So yeah, we'll probably slant up from here, or it'll just be a straight sheer wall going vertical from here. So we can go ahead and delete these then. We will not be using them. So we can get rid of them. This one we don't need. That is the last one that we need, which is the colored one. So we can get rid of those. Perfect. Let's bring this back on in, just so it's not as obnoxious and in the way. I also need to... Rec Room still has this bug where every time you load into a room, its snap is automatically set. I think it's to this. So you've got to bring it up and bring it back down if you actually want to, not do that, which is very annoying. Thank you, Rec Room. Do appreciate it. All right, so we need to just get a general, hey Lil J, a general game plan for what the parkour room is going to look like. I think that's what's most important. So we could have it be simple and just kind of make big square rectangle thing here that just goes straight up into the sky. I feel like that's like the atypical kind of thing to do. Because, I mean, that my old crappy climbing parkour maps, that's what we did. Towers of Hell is like that, which is literally the only one that I play. I guess I have played a few others that are kind of built differently. But I feel like that's kind of the typical way to go. Just straight up in a box. So what we could do is we could go forward and up, and have it loop back on itself, and then go this way. But the other thing that we have to decide is how difficult do we want to make it? Do we want to have it be easy? How long do we want it to be? Do we want to have different difficulties of like an easy, medium, and hard? I feel like if we do the different difficulties, we should just have two. We should have like a easy, medium-ish, and then a fairly difficult. Because I feel like that's kind of the two extremes of the skill levels of people that do parkour and climbing. It's either that they're pretty good and can do the pretty difficult stuff, or at least have fun trying, or it's the not very good and just more wanting to get to the end than to actually participate in the parkour. So we could do two difficulties. But and then how do we arrange that? Because I don't want it to be able to, like, if we do them side by side, you climb the easy and then you jump to like halfway up the hard. So to avoid that, could do a giant wall in the middle, but it wouldn't look as good. You know what we could do? I'm kind of just got hit with this picture in my head. But just giant rectangle forward here, wall splitting down the middle, and then it's just like a vertical trip up. Or does it necessarily have to be vertical all the way up? Like it could be vertical up to here, and then it turns back and goes this way. So next question is how long? I want it to be a decent length, but I don't want it to be too terribly long, or where like, if you're waiting a minute for the next people to come in, you're doing the parkour, and then all of a sudden somebody starts the game, and you're like, oh, I'm so close, and then the game starts, you're like, dang it. So I want to be short-ish, but long enough that it's going to entertain players, and especially the hard one, that they're going to fail often enough that they will want to continue trying. So, because like originally I was thinking, go here, up, over this way, and then down. It's really difficult to do parkour going down though. So what if, what we could do is they come up, they go here, they turn again, and then they turn once more, and then the ceiling that was the part for them to start going this way is then the floor of like the celebration room, basically. No, I don't think that would look good. I think it would be better actually if it was open ceiling, if we were to do that. So they come here, or if you're looking up, you could see the platforms that go up this way, and then it's a big empty gap, and then it's the little bit more up here that you can then look at. And then the final platform could actually be right up against the shared wall. And then we could have like a glass panel there or something, so then you could see the other side. I mean, I kind of don't hate that. Can you send a friend request username? If you just request a friend request towards me, I'll accept all of them. It's just the eman102. It's the same thing as the YouTubes. Okay, I kind of like that idea, because secondary purpose to that is the easy would be shorter, because the easy would be the inside turn for all of these, and it wouldn't be as long, but then the hard one would then be longer because it's going on the outside all the way. Oh, well, I guess the problem would be it has to go on the outside here, and then it would be a turn there. Not in love with that, but maybe? Alright, I think that works. I think I like it. I think we just have to start building it before I can fully make that decision. So let's go ahead and do just that. Let's start working on the overall walls for what this is going to be. I suppose we can just use this floor. I may end up using a different texture, but it's fine. We'll kind of bring this back, roughly set this to where we'll want it. Again, we'll go through and we'll change all that stuff to be perfect later. But then let's just grab, this is just a normal cube, not simple, which is perfect. Because Rec Room still needs to fix that. Because it's stinky and stupid. Oh, but I don't want this to be evenly sized. So, what would be the best way to do that? Here's what I'm thinking. This might be a little bit more... This might be a more complex way of doing this when I have to, but... I'm going to go ahead, make this cube be just as wide as the giant door frame there. I'm going to have the black trim disappear just by one tick. Just like so. And then now, we don't actually have world space on. Which is that? Is that a straight... I can't actually tell. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I can't tell if that's straight with the world or not. I think it is. Yeah, it's the same distance all the way through. Alright, perfect. Alright, so now that we have this is the exact size of the door frame. So then what we can do is just go 2 over on both sides. And then delete these two. This is where the outer wall will be. I don't think that's big enough, though. Because then this roughly would be something like that. Oops, wrong one. Which would then come through here. Which, oh no, that is not nearly enough room. I mean, to be fair, you will be at the lower speed. Because the speed that it's set right now is only gets affected when you come over to this area. When you're in this lobby, you're not this fast. So, granted, you will be slower, but I definitely want it bigger. But this wall here is kind of my current limiting factor. So, let's do... Alright, let's just restart this. Basically, delete those. Oops. Clone this twice over. And that twice over. So how do I get this to be the same distance as that? Where this is right there. I mean, it would be pretty easy to eyeball it, but I more or less want it to be exact. More or less. Alright, this typically isn't perfect, but I'm just going to position snap here. Oopsies. No, this one. I'm going to position snap here fairly high. And then just do one tick in. And will this be the same? Yeah, see, yeah, that's the problem with why you can't do that. Because it just don't work right. Alright, let's just eyeball it. Doesn't need to be exact as much as I want it to be. Actually, hold on. I know a much better way where you can get this to be exact. Or be very close to exact. Let's turn snapping back down. Already did. Nice. Oops. Just smacked my microphone. Nice. So if we more or less just line up the left side here, which I'm having a very hard time doing, actually. See, this is why I sit on the floor when I build, because then I can rest my controller up against the ground for more stability. Like a big brain. Alright, so now the left side is lined up. Now we can just manipulate the bottom to be lined up with that. And boom. And maybe a few pixels off, but it is awfully gosh darn close. So let's just shorten this on down. Shorten this on down. So now I want a way to be able to get this to be... That needs to stay same distance between those walls, which I'm thinking the best way to do that is just going to be to roughly eyeball this. After spending all that time to get the outside walls perfect, I'm just going to eyeball a middle. I'm very inconsistent with what I'm picky about. It needs to be kind of in between those two. There? No, not quite. There? Maybe. It's awfully close if it isn't. Yeah, that looks good. I think that's fine. Alright, so that means we can delete that. We'll manipulate this down. And then let's simply clone this. Rotate, please. And we'll just do a little bit of that. Bit of that. And then to top it all off, that's all I got. I don't have any more of that. Alright, let's see. So let's just kind of do sizing here. How does this feel? Well, first of all, there's a hole there. Second of all, feels pretty good. I definitely think that's good. So let me go ahead and turn back down the speed to what it's supposed to be at. Oh shoot, I don't remember what standard is. Standard walking speed. Okay. I think what we have to do here is let me go and save real quick. And then I'm just gonna go to another custom room that I haven't changed the speed settings on, so then I can see what the vanilla is. So, portfolio, here in all of my rooms. Bologna sandwich. I can thank Drippy for that one. Film set? I'm slow on film sets. So if we just go to this one. This was one whole room visit. See, the problem is I have so many custom rooms because I'm like, oh, I need one scene from this map in my for my video. So then I make the custom room, then forget to delete it. So then it's fine and dandy, and it's horrible because I have 1,800 different custom rooms. Thank you, Coach. I don't actually care. All right, this room settings, and now we go to game roles. Spillway? Is Spillway the equivalent of everyone? Locomotion. What? 3.6? Is that what standard is? Is 3.6? That's weird. I kind of don't believe that. I don't believe that so much, in fact. I'm actually going to make another custom room. Create new room. Just make a room. Don't say. I don't need that one square that I created in a map that I'm never going to visit again. That needs to actually be deleted. Okay, I'm 3.6. Really? Is that what standard walking speed is? Why is it so specific? I do not care, Coach. Thank you. Thank you, Coach. Thank you. Okay. Yep. You could be quiet now. Right. Oh. You can just turn off the override button and it sets it back down to standard. Okay, well, this was all unnecessary. Where am I going? Back to here. There's a room, a lobby. That was all entirely unnecessary. Very comforting, very, very comforting. I do appreciate that, me. My brain is just so big sometimes. So incredibly smart. Alright, settings, nope, this room, room details, settings, game roles, everyone, locomotion, just turn walk speed off. There we go, so this is standard sprinting speed. And I'll leave always sprinting on, so then that way, newer players, if they don't have the always sprint on for some reason, they're not at a disadvantage. Okay, so yeah, this is the speed that we're at. Oh yeah, this is fine, because yeah, you can have like 3 jumps if you're in this corner, you know, jump to there, yeah, that'll be fine. We can do that. Okay, do that. Of course, the snapping's all screwed up. So, now we're just going to lift these into the sky to give us some room to work with here. Just like so. Alright. So, if I want to continue with this design all the way through, I need it to be appealing to look at from here. Which, looking at that pillar from this hallway, doesn't quite look perfect. Alright, new idea. Instead of having this wall be there, what if we just simply did that? That looks more inviting. Looks better. A little bit less stupid, except for the problem that this just looks stupid. I don't like that line running all the way through from standing here. It just kind of looks a bit silly. So what can I do to make that look better? What if, let's just try this, what if we just do that? What if we have the wall coming all the way to there? So you've got left or right? No, definitely not. But this still looks too stupid. This needs to change. So what needs to change about this is the question. What needs to change? So my right hand wasn't doing the whatever it's called, haptic feedback when I was sliding there. Don't know why. That always freaks me out. It's just like you get so used to feeling the vibration of the haptic feedback that when you don't feel it, it's very off-putting. Okay, anyways, getting distracted. How do I make this look not stupid? Not stupid, not stupid, not stupid. I mean, could do something like that, where there's just a flat ceiling here, so then the parkour start here, and then there's a little bit of that floor right there that you get up to. I mean, looks better from here, except for the fact that this would just be empty space, because the parkour would be having to start over there. And I think what would actually be better is having the parkour start here and here. So and then that way you can actually see, you're looking at the start of the parkour from here. Which would just be better. There's gotta be a way to make this look not stupid. Because I want to have that wall there. Because then it's stopping from the hard and easy from mixing. Ugh, excuse me. I mean, you're welcome. But the problem is it needs to be there, but this just looks horrible. So how can we incorporate a wall that doesn't look stupid from here? We've concluded it can't be wider. At least it can't be wider here at the bottom. I'm also now just trying to think of, you know, if I'm hanging out in the lobby here and just looking out to my right, seeing that room, would that look out of place? I think right now I'm just, in what I'm envisioning, this looks very out of place and not good. But I think if I can incorporate some of these same colors and designs to go from in this hallway, but then also in this room, I think that would really help. So I think it'll be fine. So I think we can continue walking through with this design. It's just, how do we fix this? How do we fix this problem? Okay, idea number one is, what if we just created a arc right here? We just made a little archway, basically, that comes down a little bit, so it blocks the view of the wall from back here. So just roughly, just for concept design here, I'm going to do this. I mean, it looks better because you're not seeing it right there up against the wall, or right up against the edge of the hallway here, but still doesn't look good because still being able to see the rest of that just is not ideal. So another option is we could have a door. Like, I'm thinking kind of take this concept of this here, but actually have a closed door that you have to walk into to actually get to. Or another option is we just have a really small door. Like, we have this size of a door right there. Let's try that. Let's see how much of the view that blocks out and if that would look good at all. We just snap these as well as, I suppose we do need that. All right. Let's then clone this. That's not what I wanted. Can I undo? I cannot undo deselect. Thank you, game. How did you know exactly what it was that I wanted to do? Okay, clone. Now clone the shapes and not the other shape. You know, the things that are actually selected. Wait, no, that was right. So it doesn't matter, but. So if we grab this, roughly put this center. Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. So then let's just edit this to fill in the gaps like so. Better. It's definitely better. But the problem is still coming into here. Like, as you're walking up, it still looks stupid. So what if we just didn't have this wall here? And it was not until like up there that it actually came into place, because we don't actually need it down here, because the whole reason to have it is to stop people from like climbing up the easy and then jumping over to the hard. So first of all, this is just the very first section, so it's not like you're saving yourself much trouble by doing that. And second of all, we can actually counteract that by having the jumps of the easy when they get up that high to be on this half of it, because it's starting here. I think it'll be pretty easy just to manipulate those jumps so that you're over here by the time you're getting up to any decent height. that I think might actually just work, because now you don't see it until you come through. If we actually, I kind of really like having this doorway here though. Oops, not that. But if we just delete that, see, the problem is that going this way into the practice, there's none of that door frame. And so having that there, you know, these then look similar. And this is going into a room, is what this feels like. So by having this here, it's making it feel like you're entering into a room. Which, do I want that, is the question. Because on one hand, this is pretty much what the lobby is. This is it right here. The only thing that the player needs to gravitate towards, I would say, would be this, which by having that open concept, I feel like this is where those players are going to gravitate towards, right? Because this is where it feels like you're supposed to go. It feels like you're walking down the street and not entering into a building. So I think that's actually good, because when a new player comes in, they spawn here, they see this, you're like, oh, too much information, what? And then they look around, I feel like most players would start gravitating towards this way. You know, maybe they'd poke their head in here just to see what these are. But if they're going to actually start exploring the map, the first thing that they would do would probably be to really investigate this area. So they'd come in here, and then they could then learn the game firsthand before the round actually commences. And then once, you know, players are coming back, you know, 2 or 3 times afterwards, then they actually start investigating like the shop a little bit more, and then the parkour. And so you're entering into that room to then just entertain yourself. So I think that's good. That's a lot of words to say. I think I like it. That's basically what I was trying to get to the point there. Play testing today? No, we're not doing any play testing. We did some play testing yesterday. It was not on stream. It was just some stuff. I don't know if you saw the announcement in my Discord. Which, fun fact, if you join my Discord, you can help out in the play testing, because we've been snapping some people from there to help with the play testing there. But yeah, we've got the list of a few things that we need to work on. So once those are patched and continuing to work out well, then we'll do some more play testing. But no play testing for right now. Okay, yeah, a lot of words to say. I think I like it. I don't entirely love it. I think we may make the doorway a little bit bigger, but I think that's a problem I can try and do later. I want to continue working on actually starting to create the parkour, but we'll have to see. Have you ever played minigames on Minecraft? You probably has, as if they were on Legacy Editions. Well, that's what you're doing now. Like minigames like on a server, or minigames like, I don't know where else minigames would be. The game the server that I liked a lot, that I used to play when I was a kid, was the Hive server. I never really got into the Hypixel or any of those other ones, but I really liked Hive. Hive had some really good ones, but the server has since been shut down, which is kind of unfortunate. I don't play Minecraft anymore, so I don't really care. But a little bit sad, because I think it was a lot of fun. Had a lot of good memories there. But, alright. That's good. I like it. We will continue moving forward from this. Which this is not perfect from here, but we're going to work on that later. I'm just going to start creating the general construct. So let's go ahead and make those tunnels first, and then we will work on actually making the parkour, like the jumps themselves. So first thing I think that we need to do is we need to decide where this floor is going to be. So this wall is super tall because it has to be, because that's going to here. But counterpoint, the color of this is probably not going to be the color of this. So this will need to be a different shape of right here along this wall. So this doesn't actually have to go all the way up. I've got a big hole here. Which, is there a reason why I can't just bring this wall over? There's an empty space in here. This would be a fun spot to glitch into. But it would be same thing for this as well. But the reason that's one shape is because I don't have anything that's flat along with that. All right, so that's, oh, yes I do. What? Okay. For some reason I thought this couldn't go all the way over. I don't know why I did it that way then. All right, either way, those are some patches that will need to happen. But we can then have this be our general floor for the parkour. It doesn't actually need to be that high, because this floor is definitely taller than it needs to be. So let's actually do that. Lower this down even more. Alright, so now we've got plenty of wiggle room for the spacing up here. Man, it feels weird being up here and being slow. I'm not used to being the speed. But yeah, so this is definitely a little bit low. I don't think we want it to be quite this low. But I'm also not going to use this as the floor, because that's going to be its own separate color. So let's go ahead, clone this, and then just manipulate it to be where I need it. Yoink. I'll just expand this way, and a little bit this way. The PS3 Minecraft servers are still up. I don't think I really played any other than Hive, so I don't know of any of the other servers. I'm going to be completely honest. Alright, so this for height, how does this feel? Because the parkour is not going to be taking place on this right here. It's going to be up about here. So you'd have to get up to this height before you actually get over. Which I think that'd be pretty good. I mean, there's enough space here that you can have some fun and do some interesting stuff. I'll then also probably incorporate the general idea. I can help teach the player even more, even if for whatever reason the players come into here for the first time, or their first time in the room when they're doing the parkour. I can actually use that to trick them into teaching them the game. Because, or at least specific aspects of it. Because I can incorporate wall slide areas as well as climbing areas that uses these same textures to then teach players that that is what this is. Or that is what those visual textures do. So that might actually just work. I'm thinking like then I could have a spot where like there's this big icon up there, and then once you get into it, you're then faster for that part to then also help teach the items, but I think that would be too much. But we could definitely incorporate these to help provide a little bit of teaching. And it would also then help keep the parkour a little bit interesting, because then it's not just jumps, it's also wall slides and climbing. Okay, I like it, I like it, I like it. So let's go ahead. I think we've more or less decided that is going to be our final floor height there. Let's just put that there for right now. What is this in line with? Which one did I clone again? I did clone those. Right, that's a bit unfortunate, because I'm thinking I'll probably scooch this whole thing inwards. I suppose it's not the end of the world, because actually I want to try something really quick. If I go ahead and snap all these and I move this closer inward, would that look better or worse? That seems more inviting, which on one hand I think is good, but on the other hand I think it's a little bit too inviting. Because now it's closer, it's right there, it looks a little bit more appealing, which we don't want. We want a little bit, but not that much. So what if we actually just moved it back to like there? Is that a good middle ground? I think it's still a little bit too far back. Because right now it's kind of feeling like it was something that was added on afterwards, and it doesn't feel like one cohesive room and area. Better. I'm thinking a little bit closer still. What if we do that? I think that's a good happy medium. I think I like that. Because there, it's not... It doesn't feel like, oh, like, hey, this is the first place I'm supposed to go, but it also doesn't feel like its own separate area. It feels like it's still part of the room. Okay. I'm on board with this. This looks so bland without the trim. I really need to get that in. So what that means is, I was gonna say we could either just put a diagonal here to connect that, or just shift this whole wall back. I'm kind of honestly on board with the fact of putting the diagonals there, because then it would create a little bit more abstract abstract lines to the room instead of it just being a giant square. So I'm kind of on board with that. Or maybe maybe we don't do it from here, maybe we actually slide it back and we do that angle from here. That might be a little bit better. And then in each of the corners, we could put in another square that would go this way, to then not make it a direct corner, but to be a little bit more exciting. So it's not a giant square. But another thing is I do want to kind of continue to use these kind of abstract shapes. So again, we've got the roof with that, we've got the signs that'll be that way. So I feel like if I do that, I'm kind of making this feel a little bit more like a hexagon / circle, but I want it to be more abstract. I want to keep that design going all the way through. So the question is how can I do that here? I don't know if I can. I was gonna say we could have like this come all the way out to here. That would go this way, and then the corners in these two corners, it would then just be a little bit. So then we'd get that little bit of an kind of shifted shape a little bit. I just don't think that would look good, and then also with the transition of going up and over would be very difficult to try and work out. It wouldn't be impossible though. Could definitely pull it off. Maybe we have these walls be something more like this, and then we have these walls go this way. I think that might work. That might just actually work. So let's take this, let's clone this piece over. I'm then going to turn on my snapping rotation to, because I want it to be this way where it's sticking into this a little bit more. So if I'm rotating it that way, I actually want it to be less degrees. So let's do 30. That's too much. 15 will be too little. So let's enter in custom of 20. That I think would look pretty good. We then roughly put that there. And how is that feeling? It feels like it's not enough. So let's slide that out even more. I think that's too much. I think we're definitely on the right track though. It's starting to feel a little bit more oddly shaped instead of just a square or a circle / hexagon. All right, kind of like that, kind of like it. So to try and get this sized correctly, let's go ahead and bring that in, bring this in, and then I am just going to make this as thick to the point of where it is just barely touching this corner. Just a tiny bit too far. There we go. All right. So now we've got world space on. So if we just mirror this here, we just want this barely touching the corner. Like so. And so now it's kind of hard to tell because it's right there in the shadows. So again, the lighting will be different. But I think that helps. The question is does it take away valuable space for the parkour? That's the kind of thing I'm the most worried about. Is am I taking away too much space? But I think it's fine. So let's edit this. And now clone it that way. Now if I just rotate this 90 degrees, this won't do. Oh, it locks it back on the axis. Okay. Alright, so let's then go ahead, re-enter that custom 20, and we're going to rotate it this way. And now we can go ahead and slap this in the corner. Do something along those lines. How does that feel? Kind of feels like a little bit too much roundedness. Even though it's not at all round, because this is very sharp that way, whereas this is very sharp this way. So these are all wall slidable. They are not supposed to be wall slidable. Does that mean that everything else in here is wall slidable? Gosh darn it. I want that abstract shape. Hey, Domino, how's it going? Okay, alright. The sun today at mine looked like the default sun in the make room. It looked exactly the same. The fading color was on point. That's a bit trippy. The lighting in this game is just so jank is the problem. Okay, but to get that abstract shape, how do we accomplish that? Really quick, let me just... I'm not going to make this be perfect, because I just want to ballpark it here. We're roughly sticking out that much, I'd say. Yeah, that's roughly right. So yeah, if we do that, it definitely looks a little bit better, because we don't have those sharp corners anymore. So it looks better, but it doesn't look like what I want it to. Okay, the problem is I want that abstract shape. This is weird, but it's not abstract. So how does I get it? Good game? We're hoping that we can get it to be a good game. We're trying. One piece at a time. One shape at a time. One shape that takes me like 30 minutes to make. Because part of me just wants to bring this out further this direction. So and then it's like longer going before it meets this wall. However, then we're taking away a lot of space for the parkour. We're making this a lot skinnier. Which is not ideal. Let's try it. Let's see how it looks. See if I like it. I suppose we could just select both of these and then move them on out. Let's go all the way out there. Let's try that. And then we yoink. And we yoink. I kind of like that more. I kind of like it more. And also, I think I put that one in the exact same spot, because that's basically equidistant from the middle there. Maybe that would go slightly further in, but that would be it. Okay. I kind of like it, which is a problem, because of how much space that's taking away from us. So let's move it in a little bit. Like that. How does that feel? We still get that same feel, and we got a little bit of space back. I don't think we could go any further in, though. Because the problem is just of how big and open this room is. Because this is going to be tall, too. Which I kind of don't love. Because that was something that I was trying to make sure I incorporated here, is it felt like one cohesive room. And I kind of didn't like of how when you came out here, everything being so tall there. Nice. But I was kind of willing to work with it because it created that feeling of the actual map as well. It didn't really feel like the lobby anymore. So I'm not a huge fan of just how open and tall this feels. But I don't know if there's a way we can get around that. Alright, either way, do I think this is enough space? You know what we could do is to actually start the parkour, is we could have like one platform here, and then the hard, you know, you jump off this direction, and then the easy, you jump off this direction, and then you start going up. That's what we could do. That wouldn't be the worst. Then we could have a sign here that would say easy, and a sign here that would say hard. That might work, because I was thinking, yeah, we just like have one platform here, have those signs on each of those. But the starting platform could actually be the same. We could put it right there in the middle to try and help fill in the space a little bit more and make it more of a cohesive spot. Okay, I'm not perfectly in love with the shape of the room, but it's good enough. I'm willing to accept it. We can always tweak it a little bit later, because it doesn't need to... It's not the biggest a deal if we change it a little bit. My only problem, or my only question now is do we have enough room to do the parkour? That is the only question I have. It'll be tight, but I think we can make it work. I'm pretty sure we can make it work. So let's go ahead, just bring all of these up higher to where they would need to be, just so we've got the space to work with. Like so. And so we have to get the player up to be right about here, and they'll go this way. Alright. Good enough. Ooh. Problem though with having these here is that inner wall, instead of being here, it's going to be here, which means that you have a very skinny area to actually do the parkour here, which is not that bad. I can make that work, and we can also, we could have it be flat for a little bit, and then we can actually arc it back in to have that wider aspect to it, or it could just immediately go into a slanted. I think it would be better if it was flat and then slanted. But I think it'll be fine, because we still have enough space here that you can do a few jumps to get some distance this way before it really starts to, without it feeling too cramped. Chicken fingers, how's it going? Okay, so we have that. Part of me actually kind of want to start building the parkour, but I should probably finish building the rest of the actual tunnel itself. More or less the tunnel, I guess. Nah, you know what? Let's do something exciting. Let's actually start building the parkour. Do I just want to do this? Make big cube, put big cube there, and then do that? Do we want to have it be... Mound. What is the hitbox of the mound? I still have uniform shapes on. How comforting. Is the hitbox of this just one giant square? I'm assuming that's what it is. Oh, no, it actually has a full hitbox to it. It has a working, rounded hitbox. Is this the only item, or the only shape in the game that actually has a hitbox like it's supposed to? This is crazy. Alright, anyways, we could have this be our starting location here. Maybe flatten that down a little bit. Where is the bottom sitting? Inside the floor there a little bit. Which I actually don't want it to be that wide, so we can counteract that by doing something like that, which I would say looks a lot better. Alright, visually that looks definitely good, like a good start platform there. Let's then just go ahead and first of all select this and merge this into this, right? Because yeah, this would be non-climbable, non-wall slidable, and environment. So let's merge that, and let's actually then change this back to no wall run. Ooh, support clambering though, because I do want to support clambering on the parkour part, but here, is there anything here that I wouldn't want to support clambering on? No, this I all want to have clambering turned on for. Yeah, so we're good. Yeah, so we can have that all be the same object because it'll all have the same properties to it. Can you add me? Yes, you most certainly can. My Rec Room username is the same thing as it is on YouTube, the eman102. Okay, so we've got that. Is this big enough? No. No, we should go bigger. So let's grab this, scale this pupper up, and then we can just move that down a little bit more again. Perfect. Do I like it or do I not like it? I think that's a good starting point. Yeah, and this is big enough that we can have the start on either side of it. Perfect. So let's drag this over here so we can get this lined up with the doorway, basically. Which I'm just going to use that point where it first starts to curve. Does not need to be perfect. I would say that is good enough. And do we want this start to be here in the middle or closer to the edge? Hey, look at that. Friend request from Chicken Fingers. Wow! Yoink, friends, accept. Look at that, Chicken Fingies. We are friends now. Forever bonded. What if we actually do it closer to the doorway? Because I was thinking we could start all the way back there, but actually, I think it would be much better if it was closer to the doorway. The problem is, looking into the room, I would say that would just appear a little bit weird. So, let's try middle. I'm not in love with it, but I feel like I would kind of hate the back even more then. From being in here, I would say it looks best being up against the wall. But the problem is that being in this room, I feel like it being up against the wall is not the best. Because A, you're having to walk further to actually get there. And second of all, I just don't think it feels as cohesive and as one complete thing. So let's try happy medium of between the middle and the back. Let's try that. How does that look from out here? Good. So I would say it feels a little bit too close, and once you're in here, it feels too far back. Perfect. So here it needs to move back, here it needs to move forward. Wonderful. You know what we could do? We could get real fancy with it, and when you're standing back here, that platform's up against the wall, and when you walk into the room, it actually moves forward. Genius. Okay. How do we actually pull this off then? I would say if we want it to be closer, but to have it still look good from here, the object needs to be smaller. But I don't want this to be any smaller. I feel like this is already as small as we should make it. But let's try a little bit. Let's make it about that small. Let's raise this up a little bit. Now it just looks weird. Okay, what if we make it way bigger? Like way, way bigger. Like what if we did something like that? Perfect! Yoink! Alright, let's move this down a little bit. Something like so. Not the worst. Okay, so when it's real big, it's better. It's a step in the right direction. However, once you walk into the room, it still feels too far back. So I feel like right around there would feel good. And how does that look from out here? It looks stupid right now. It still feels a little too far back once you're walking in. So let's try there. It's like dead center of the room. The fact that it's orange right now does not help. The main thing is when you're looking at it straight on, like, it's not the worst. You can't tell what it is, but it doesn't look stupid. When you're looking at it from the side and you can see the edge of that platform, I'm just not in love with that. But something that we can do is we can, when we're decorating it, we can use those pillars or something similar to that. Like here, or put like one here, and then like just kind of put it around the room. So and then when you're looking into it, it doesn't look as stupid. Then maybe we could actually have this be a different floor here as well. It's just seeing the edge of that shape I'm not in love with. Oops. But I think I can accept it. Okay, we'll accept it. We'll keep moving forward. But this, I may change this slightly in the future. Because another thing that we could do is go back to the original idea of actually having 2 platforms to start on instead of one big one. And I feel like that might look better from out there. Alright, we might have to do that, but we'll move forward with this for right now. What I want to know is how much ink do these mounds actually take up? So, let me just do this of 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to select all of these. So we're at 15.46. Ooh, so even since it's part of an object, that's still taking up basically 0.1% ink just for 5 shapes. Which for reference, let's see what 5 squares look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That takes up 0.02. So the mounds basically take up 5 times more ink than normal squares. How about the half spheres or hemisphere? Because this is what we use for a lot of our platforms in the actual map itself and in the practice map as well. So if we use that same thing here, what percentage of ink would this take up? Ooh, that's up 0.46. So this is, again, almost that full 1%, or 0.1. Which again, being here, we don't have to be as conservative with ink usage. There's going to be a lot less things here. However, I don't just want to be wasting ink willy-nilly. So if I were to use one of those, I'd probably use the hemispheres first. Because that's what the rest of the map looks like. Which I want to try real quick. So this does pretty much have a hitbox. It's kind of properly. It's not perfect by any means, but it kind of has a hitbox similar to what the actual object visually looks like. Do not recolor. Delete, please. So other ink efficient ways that I could... other ink efficient objects I could use for the platforms is I could do the cylinders. And do something like that, but that takes up just as much ink, right? Yeah, well, not quite as much. Oh, I know, because we're at 3.7, so it's, yeah, because that's just under that 0.1. So cylinders are just as much ink as that, Tubes would be great, but tubes have horrible hitboxes, so I can't use that. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just gonna eat the ink usage, because I don't just want to do cubes. If I just did cubes, I think it would just look tacky and stupid. Because I want some curves to the platforms. I don't just want it to be a square. So I'm trying to think. I could use multiple cubes for one platform, but to be able to do that to look good would just be really difficult. It would end up taking up more than 5 squares. So I think it's just going to be better and best just to do the hemispheres here. So another idea could be that we design this very similarly to how we did the rest of everything else, which I don't know if I actually put these in here yet. No, I didn't. Because what I have on the other map is I have those white rings that are underneath all of the floating platforms like that. To have it, you know, not be just a floating platform. It's pretty much the same thing that I've got here underneath this. It's very similar. So we could do that underneath these platforms. But I think because this is its own room, it's its own concept, its own little mini game, I think we could get away with just doing floating platforms. I think that's okay. So how do I want to start this is the question. Man, now that I'm up here, this feels like so little room. Look. Yeah, wow, look at that jump. Wow, look at me go. Wow. Cause yeah, this feels like so little room now that I'm actually adding the shapes to it. Just like you jump here and like, oh, we're already in the corner. It's gonna be tricky to do the easy just because there's gonna be so many more shapes than there will be in hard. And the shapes are gonna be so much bigger as well. Oh, I should also, it's been way long after that. I should probably unpin that message because we're not doing the meetup code anymore. Huh. I do not know. I'm kind of waiting until inspiration strikes for how I should design this. Or at least how the parkour should go. But the inspiration is not hitting. Alright, I'm thinking I'm probably going to go ahead and end the stream here soon. I think this is something, I think for when I build the parkour, I've got to be in the parkour mindset. Because the problem is right now I'm going from like building structural, visually appealing stuff to trying to be functional parkour stuff. And I found that same issue when I was building the city map. And this as well is, for some reason, I can't do both at the same time. My brain is like, I can do one thing at a time. It is either visual structure, practical structure, or coloring. I cannot do any of those at this simultaneously. Simultaneously, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Is because the fact is just I cannot do that. Like I cannot build this and then also decide what the colors are going to be along the way. I can't do this and have it be visually appealing as well. If I'm going to build the actual functional part of it, I have to do that first, and then I go back through and then make it look more pretty. That's how I've always built things, and I'm having that same issue right now. Is because I'm trying to switch gears now, and I'm having a hard time actually doing that. So I think I'm going to wait and build the parkour at a later date, probably in a couple days from now. And then what I can continue doing is working on this here all the way through. Or the structure wall is going all the way up and through. But yeah, and I think that's something that I'm going to do later as well. So we're going to do one more thing, and then we're going to end the stream. And that one thing is going to be pretty simple. Thinking we could do those as well. Because the problem is, I realize this whole thing has been an entire mess. Because this is an invention that I have saved where it's a... because I had to use this for the actual map itself so that it's smooth to wall slide along. So I'm reusing it here to kind of get those same designs on both sides of both map and lobby side of it. But the problem is that this is not perfect. This is not good. They're not evenly spaced. There's a couple of oddball ones in there, and these are simple squares. So this is taking up more ink, because this was before I realized that simple squares actually took up more ink, even as counterproductive as that seems. This is not good. And so when I did this trim as well, I just cloned it and then manipulated it. But if you then take this and then just move this up here, these are not actually perfectly straight vertical either. So I couldn't just clone it up. So I'm gonna have to do the whole thing again up there. But if I'm gonna do that, I almost feel like I should just redesign this with the normal squares, so that it's not eating up as much ink, because I'm gonna have 3 different clones of it. I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to eat the ink, and I'm just going to clone this up there, and then if I need the ink later on, I will redesign this so it's not taking up as much ink. But I'm not going to do that right now. We could. Actually, wouldn't be all too much work. But I'm going to do the trim here first, and then we will move on from there. So let's see. Yoink. Clone, please. Thank you. This is something that I have realized of how much of a difference it makes in designing, is just having trim on the border of whatever it is that you're working on. It makes such a huge impact on everything. It's like the same thing with having a shadow effect. Like, it just makes such a big effect. And that's something that I learned from editing my videos and like thumbnails and whatnot, is just adding those shadow effects makes all the difference. Perfect. We'll make that in just a little bit more. And then let's grab this, clone it up. And then just line this up. I feel like that'd be easiest. Just needs to move up a hair and a half, actually. There you go, a hair and a half. And then a little bit of a yoink. Perfecto. And now that should look a little bit more cohesive. Kind of. Actually, I think it needs something in the corners as well. It needs something in here. Something that break up the color of the same being there and there. But that's something that I can do later. I won't do that now. Alright, let's add the trim for the top part of this curvy wall, and then we will end the stream. Which, actually, I need this. Are these the same object still? They still are. I need to change that, because that does not need to be environment, so I'm wasting ink there as well. Yeah, that's all. Separate object. So we'll do that. And now we simply just clone and then scale it down ever so slightly. Well, actually, let's scale the bottom up first. And then scale this whole thing down. Is that up? No, that is the right way. Okay. We just do something like that. Oh, come on, fly, please. That's actually a lot. So it needs to be scaled up a little bit more, and I forget which way was what. That's bigger. This is smaller. All right, so let's go until that texture changes. And right there. How about that? Pretty good. You shouldn't be able to notice that from the top. At least I don't think so. Whoops. Stay on scale. And now we have to get this to line up with the other one, which is just oh so much fun. Especially when the scale thing is way over here and the what I'm actually trying to line it up with is over there. I also can't see it because it's the wrong color. Let's do this real quick then. I don't think this is the right color, but nope, that is not at all the right color. Oh, really? And then it deselects it? Why did it deselect it? That's just stupid. It's more stupido. How many, I can't turn anymore in this. I'm not an owl. There we go. Alright, so now we can grab it, scale it, and up we go. It looks like it should be good. Is it though? Almost. It's almost there. I'm just gonna switch to move now so I can actually do this a little bit easier. Then we're just gonna go one tick up. Make it 2. Oh, and that's perfect. That's actually exactly where we need it to be. Alright, so now let's grab, deselect everything. I drop this. Recolor. That was just charcoal. Okay. And of course everything deselected again, but just make it easy from going up here. Should have done this when I was selecting everything again. Alright. Fly please. Thank you. Why am I down here? That looks stupid. There we go. Alright. There, now it's a little bit more cohesive all the way through. Nice. Yeah, I definitely think that we can put something in this corner, and then also at the start of the curves. So there and here as well. I think we can do that, and that will help break up all of the monotonous coloring of the walls. So it'll be something similar to like these pillars of that type of design roughly. But something in there just to help break it up, I think would be good. So we'll have to see. But, alright, anyways, I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream there. A little bit of a shorter one, but where did the... I switched to third-person camera. Hi, back there. Yoink. Alright, so, didn't do a whole terribly lot, but that's kind of how I built, is I just chip away at it with little pieces, and then eventually it gets done. I am trying to line myself up. There we go. I was going the wrong way. But yeah, I would say what we got done today though was huge, because for me, what takes the longest amount of time is actually deciding the general theme and aspect of what it's going to be. So we were able to get that room started, get the idea of where the parkour is going to go and the shape of that room and the general theme of the parkour. That right there is huge, because that allows me to, why am I spinning? That allows me to now continue chipping away at doing those little decorations and making it look better and better. I'm doing stuff like, you know, adding the textured ceiling or the trim around the little how to play board there and stuff like that. So it may not seem like a lot, but it is actually a fair amount. I was honestly preparing myself to get very minimal done today of just creating the general structure. But we got the structure, we got the parkour started, we got the transition from this room into the other room, and we have the full route that the parkour is going to take. So definitely made some good progress there today. But we'll go ahead and end it there. Like I kind of said, I've been working on the room a lot, but for streaming opportunities, it's kind of definitely pretty low right now. But next opportunity I get to be able to stream this, I'll probably try and do it again. But with that, I think we'll go ahead and just end it. There was something else I was going to say. What was it? I do not remember. Wait. No, that's not what it was. Okay, alright, anyways. Alright, appreciate everyone swinging by. We'll go ahead and... man, I am blanking on absolutely everything. I completely forgot what I was going to say. There was an announcement I wanted to make before I ended, and I completely forgot. As soon as I end the stream, I'm going to remember what both of the things were. But, okay, obviously they weren't all that important, but adios, and I'll see you the next time I get to see you. There might be a short out in the next couple of weeks, or maybe next thing will be in a live stream of this. Or, who knows, maybe we'll just speedrun the rest of building Speedrunners, and it'll actually be done. Don't count on that, though. Alright, adios, appreciate ya. See you next time. Chicken!